Hello, you sexy bastards. How are y'all today? We are back again with another Gigguk video. This is Mushoku Tensei is an Isekai Masterclass. Now, before we start, let me give you my background with this anime. I have not actually seen the anime. I've read the manga up to a point, and after I read the manga up to a point, I started reading the novel up to a point. Or was it the novel first and then they released the manga? I don't remember. But I know what happens up to a point that's probably not been animated yet. But let's see. Let's see what Gigguk thinks about this Isekai. It's actually pretty cool. If you haven't watched it, you probably should watch it or read it. I don't know. It's pretty
Reminded
cool.
me why I love being an anime fan. Attack on Titan making its mark on pop culture. Jujutsu Kaisen just getting better and better with every...
This fucking thing is insanely good, bro. Okay, this is how you know, this is how I know when an anime is so good, okay? I watched this Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I was like, okay, that's not enough, bro. I need more. I went and read the manga. That's how I know an anime is good. If it makes me want to read the manga immediately after watching the anime just so I can get some more content out of it, it's good. And all I gotta say is that the fucking artist decided to go full Game of Thrones on my favorite characters. Fucking dickhead. Stop killing my characters, bro.
Every episode. Horimiya being the most wholesome thing on this planet, Wonder Egg cutting deep into my psyche, and then there's Redo of a healer.
Trash.
Car crash. But
Garbage trash.
Which one of these shows I really wanted to talk about the most? I kept coming
Not
back
even a
to
good
Mushoku
wonk material.
Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. The Isekai of the season.
Oh shit.
If you're new to this channel here, hi there. I like Isekai.
All you had to do is follow the train,
and my
CJ.
relationship with the genre with this channel goes something along the lines of, alright guys, it's time to talk about another Isekai! God no, Gigguk, please! I know you're bored of me talking about Isekai, I'm bored of me talking about Isekai, but after a relatively quiet 2020 for new titles in the genre, Mushoku Tensei has come along and I believe has shown how truly special this genre can be. So I'm going to talk about it. Rudius Greyrat is a newly born baby entering a fantasy world who, after appreciating his mum's rack, realizes he's just a baby, and his first words after entering this world were, unbeknownst to them, Rudy is actually a 34-year-old man with his memory still intact who's been reincarnated after he died when he... Wait, what was the plot point again? Got hit by a truck. Because of this, his family haven't realized that they've given birth to a baby permanently horny on main. But as he grows up, he soon realizes that he's not the only one that's horny. There's his dad. He's basically a hentai protagonist. He's horny. There's his mom. She goes at it with his dad a lot because she's...
No. He's a failed hentai protagonist. He tries to fuck everything. He fucks a little bit and then gets removed from the picture.
Horny, there's his maid. She's horny too. The general population of this world, they're pretty horny. Eventually he gets a teacher who's actually relatively normal. Nothing more to say about her. Just kidding, she's ultra horny. And thus
but she don't fuck.
Rudy's second life.
She don't fuck
as
though.
He slowly grows older, learns about the magic and this new world, and discovering the wonders of Roxy's panties.
You could make a religion out of this.
Now, for those of you who don't know more, this may seem like a very generic plot synopsis for you, and you may be wondering what about this plot separates it from every other isekai that you've seen. Yes. Round here in the Isekai corner, Mushoku Tensei is often touted as the grandfather of modern Isekai. Or the grandmother, or the father, or the alcoholic uncle who shows up at family parties and makes inappropriate comments about it's popularized a lot of tropes you've seen in modern Isekai. Antisocial nerd gets killed, you got a fantasy world with magic, fuck, you even get to see Truck-kun during his intern phase. Not to be that guy, but... been following Truck-kun since he was underground, always knew he was gonna blow up. But I mean, it's easy to say that a piece of work is a pioneer of a genre and yet still age badly if the once original tropes it pioneered have become tired cliches, but somehow Mushoku Tensei is one of those few isekais I've watched where the tropes you recognize in it make sense. Cause one of the biggest questions I've always wondered is, why do isekai need to be isekai? With a lot of early stories in these genres, it would always follow the adventures of these characters trying to find a way back to their own world. 12 Kingdoms, now and then here and there, even fucking Digimon. There was a reason for these shows to be isekai because the main motivating plot point was to find a way back. But eventually...
Yeah, but they don't die though. Most of the isekais nowadays are... I go outside, get hit by a truck, a meteor falls on my head, a woman spits out from the 20th floor, the spit builds up speed, penetrates my brain, which is like this big, but still, and finishes me off. Best way to die. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh yeah, they died though. That's why they don't try to go back, because they dead.
This notion disappeared completely. Characters would have no interest in returning to their previous world, and instead the main reason for a story to become an isekai was, hey you, are you a loser nerd who needs a blank protagonist to project on? Well, look at this blank projection of a loser nerd who's actually good looking, talented and smart, but don't worry about that because he's a loser nerd just like you.
And rich,
and now
probably.
he's in a new world where he has sexy singles in his area, and he's completely OP because of this one simple trick that makes every bad guy hate him. That's right, it's everything you could ever hope for. So jump in front of a truck today and get transported to the world of your dreams. Call 1-800-KILL-ME now to book your next truck driver. Act now and we'll even throw in a free lolly. And all this time I've always wondered, how the fuck did we get from point A to point B?
Persona music!
And this made me realize that Mushoku Tensei might have been that missing link this entire time. Rudy was an unpopular, antisocial shut-in in his previous life. He was bullied, he has social anxiety, he has trauma, and this led him to shut himself off from the world and become the person he was. He's an ugly, worthless, low life of society who did nothing all day but watch anime, play video games, and jack off to hentai. I mean, look at this guy. Is this the hero you'd like to project yourself on? An ugly bastard who can't even find a role in a hentai? I bet he even moderates a Discord server. These experiences and the person he was isn't just magically changed because he was reborn in a fantasy world. He carries the trauma of his previous life. He's really horny because he's obviously never had a love life and views girls like they're a love interest in the eroges he used to play. He's not the perfect bastion of righteousness like every other isekai protagonist, but what he does have now is a loving family, people who are willing to give him a chance, and an opportunity to start over.
And he's fucking
the
OP.
person he was before he was reincarnated isn't just ignored and forgotten about. In fact, it constantly plays an active part in shaping the kind of person he becomes in this world. He wants to become a better person because of the person he was before, not in spite of it. There's an actual reason for this isekai to be a fucking isekai. Not to say that this is the first isekai to ever refer to a protagonist's previous life, but it definitely feels like this one had the biggest effect and starts right from the get-go. The tropes and cliches you might recognize aren't just tropes and cliches as much as they are just core elements that build on the plot, characters, or world. They are not just surface level writing prompts, there's a reason why they are there. Looking at Rudy as a character, I know there's going to be a fair chunk of people who gets put off by Rudy's behavior, but I think that's kind of the point. Even if there are some things he does that even I'm not going to stand here and try and defend. Like, I don't know where on the legality scale a guy with 30 years of memories trapped in a child's body essentially raising his love interest from a young age to become his perfect wife in the future stands, but it awfully sounds like a word that rhymes with schlooming, that is generally illegal and or frowned upon in most places in the world. I'm just waiting for this to be the next thing the Twitter hate mob picks up, but look, I'm not saying what he does is justifiable at all, or that there aren't some really weird things that happen every now and then. Did that guy really just tell an 8-year-old kid to use protection? Can everyone in this show for a second just... But what I am saying is that you don't have to support all of the main character's actions, nor condone everything that happens.
Grooming, yes. Is it? Probably. Did much worse things happen during our own Middle Ages? Yeah, so I mean, technically when you think about during the age that they live in, you know, Middle Ages, all that whole shit, you know, Dark Ages, they were called dark for a reason, not because... I was gonna make a racist joke that I'm not gonna make on YouTube because I might get banned.
To appreciate a good fictional story.
Let's continue.
Through all of Rudy's actions, you can sincerely see him trying to become a better person. The more experiences he has in his new life, the more he realizes he doesn't have to be like that person he was before. We get to see him not just grow in age all over again, but as a person as well. And come on guys, who doesn't love a good redemption arc? But he's not the only one either. For example, his dad is basically an ex-harem protagonist and kind of a sleazebag who does some really uncool things. But he does try to be his best to be a good father and set a good example for his son, even if he can't be that perfect role model himself. And then there's Eris.
I like her.
She's kind of a little shithead. The real
magic
of the show comes in the care that's been put into the characters and this world they envelop. There's nothing particularly special about the settings or the concepts. You can just feel the attention to detail being put into every aspect of this story. Every single character feels like a living, breathing part of this world, rather than just a buggy Oblivion NPC there to just fill the space. If this is catching your interest and you're just waiting for me to get to that one big plot hook to get you invested, well, there kind of isn't one right now.
There is? What?
Alright, so I wrote that line and the corresponding paragraph a few weeks ago before the big plot hook did happen.
Okay, okay. I was gonna be like, bro, explosion. Explosion. I am sorry.
That really completely fucks up my next point. Because what I was going to say is that some may see this series as a bit of a slow burn, since especially at the beginning, not a lot really happens. A lot of it is just Rudy living his life and growing up. At times it can feel more like a slice of life, but it set up its foundation so well that I was already incredibly invested in these characters and the world. And now that there has been a big turning point in the series, I'm even more invested. Because big events don't need to happen for the series to be able to say a lot or do something interesting. For example, in one of the episodes, Rudy stages a fake kidnapping in order to teach his tsundere a lesson because yada yada yada, long story short, the kidnappers end up being real, he has to save the girl, gets a sword thrown at him and almost dies. Except, of course, he gets saved last minute, which didn't really surprise me or I'm sure anyone else. What did surprise me, however, is the bloody decapitated corpse that landed at Rudy's feet. And for the first time, Rudy says nothing. No over-the-top freakouts, no internal monologue, just a pure shocking look of, oh shit, there's a dead body in front of me.
Well, was this before green hair boy demon thing, motherfucker? Cause he did, you know, stabby to people and shit.
Which is such a small moment that made me realize how much I took something like this for granted when I've seen similar situations happen in other isekai stories, but yet it says so much, because despite the lighter tones presented in earlier episodes, this is not some harmless JRPG world. People die, people kill, and it can be brutal. And Rudy reacts exactly how any one of us would react. He's a 30-year-old shut-in, he's just...
Hopefully, unless you're some weird motherfucker that's like, oh yeah, stab him more, mommy. God, his limbs, bro.
Presented with a fresh corpse in front of him. But this juxtaposed against how casually everyone around him acts means that this must not really be a rare sight for this world, so it perfectly sets up the tone for this type of setting and what we can come to expect in the future. It's not dark, it's not edgy, it's just real. And that's what I love about this series. It's incredibly grounded despite being set in that same cliche isekai fantasy world we thought we knew. And it says everything it needs to without always needing to rely on dialogue, even though it has a fuck ton of it. It knows when to show, and it knows when to tell, and it knows when to do a little bit of both. And even though this setting feels so familiar to what we've seen before, such care has been put into the way it's constructed and presented that it's just a treat to just inhabit it. Normally I like to gloss over production because there's not too much I can say beyond the animation looks good, and the fight scenes are nice, and the music makes the nice noise. But there's something about this production that just feels special in every single aspect. Mushoku Tensei is done by Studio Bind, a completely new studio that was formed from White Fox with staff members that seem to have a lot of experience
but Black Fox,
isekai titles, and god damn, they must have brought together the Avengers of isekai staff members because this show looks and sounds incredible. According to interviews with producers, this studio was essentially formed just so they could focus on Mushoku Tensei, which is not only insane but also shows that someone has a lot of fucking faith in this series. The name Studio Bind doesn't do justice to how good of a job they're doing. It's like, fuck me man, this gets me excited straight in my studio shaft because some of this animation is making my studio bones straight up studio nuts. Because the best way I can put it is that this doesn't feel like it belongs on TV. You know how you can watch an anime franchise movie and it can at times feel like you're just watching an extended anime episode or a bunch of episodes stuck together, because even if it has that slightly higher budget, it doesn't have this big screen presence. This is the opposite of that. It's a TV series that gives off this energy that it belongs on the big screen. And it's not just one nicely animated scene or just one amazing moment, but something about this entire show just gives off that vibe of a higher caliber production that feels like it should be encapsulated in the magic of cinema. And that's basically Mushoku Tensei. The only real downside I can think of right now is that I'm kind of scared how far this production can go. Right now, the anime is confirmed for 23 episodes this year, and judging by how much of the story is taking its time, we are barely scratching the surface.
Oh yeah.
I'm praying to God that Studio Binds are able to adapt as much as they can, because even without reading ahead, I can already feel how much this story still has to say. And it would be a shame.
I haven't watched it, but having read it, I assume the first season's gonna end. No, I'm actually pretty sure the first season's gonna end at the big boom. I'm pretty sure that seems like a very logical point to stop. You know, giant plot, not plot point, but like plot divergency, you know, I don't know how to explain. I don't know words, okay?
Shame if it never gets the chance to say it, because watching this show has kind of made me fall back in love with isekai. Mushoku Tensei isn't just a story about a guy reincarnated into a fantasy world. It's a guy who's been given a second chance to do something better and become the person he never could be. who just happens to be reincarnated into a fantasy world, showing us that no matter how old you are, it's never too late to make a change in your life. It's never too late to better yourself. It's never too late for a coming-of-age story.
Or
and for
coming
all
in
the
age.
overpowered protagonists and
Above
power
18.
fantasies and endless harems, watching this made me wonder if this was what Isekai was always meant to be about. Not just another adventure in another time, in another world, but maybe just another chance at life.
Aww. Booba.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video.
What the
Thank you
fuck
to
are those
Raycon
thick
for being
tights
today's
behind you?
sponsor. Question: how much time do you spend every day staring at a screen? Too much. Well, Raycon wireless earbuds may be the perfect solution for you to take a break from designing premium wireless audio for half
Bro, stop trying to sell me earphones and shit. Can you sell me that ass?
the price of other brands without
Jesus.
compromise. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass and more. Raycon are doing things differently, prioritizing customer experience from start to finish. Personally, I love using Raycons to consume content while giving my eyes a break, like listening to podcasts. Right now, I'm actually actively listening to a new one called Trash Taste, which is a new podcast I highly recommend. Raycon offers their wireless earbuds in a range of fun colors and patterns with a variety of fit options and no dangling wires or stems. The company was co-founded by Ray J, with celebrities like
Ray J?
Snoop Dogg and Mike Tyson actively using Raycons. And not only that, but Raycon also have a 45-day free return policy on top of all this too. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in
what
the
you
description
waiting
or go
for?
to
Raycon!
buyraycon.com/Gigguk for 15% off. That's buyraycon.com Gigguk for 15% off. And with that said, thank you very much to Alpha Sigma, Basil, Box, Dysfunctional Degenerate, Elephal, Ivito, Pain Patchet, and everyone else my Patreon for supporting me for this month.
Dysfunctional
Where
degenerate.
the fuck has the time gone? I swear it was just yesterday that new season of anime just started, and it's like the spring season is almost starting. A lot of people have been asking
Spring.
if I'm going to do another seasonal breakdown. A lot of people have been asking if I'm going to do another seasonal stream where I stream our reaction to all the new anime coming out, and yeah, I'll probably do that. If you didn't know, yes, I did do that stream last season, but I don't have a final date right now, so if you want to be updated, just follow my Twitter or follow
that
my
song in
Twitch
the
at
background?
twitch.tv/Gigguk. I'll tell you what though, the next season of anime has a lot to fucking live up to, because my god, this season was amazing. Anyway though, that's it from me today, no further updates. I've been Gigguk, and I'll see you all next time.
See you, Gigguk. Anyway, that was pretty cool. I need to watch it. I did not. I gotta be honest with y'all. I usually prefer reading mangas to watching animes most of the time. Mostly because, like, unless it's Fate, it's probably not gonna be amazing animation, right? Let's be honest. Like after watching Fate movies and shit, I was like, bro, I want everything to be like that. But at the same time, I know that everything cannot be like that because those guys probably have like half of the fucking continent, you know, editing shit for their, you know, fight scenes, whatever. Yeah, I need to watch this. This looks very smooth. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this. Have you seen it? And if you have you enjoyed this Isekai? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you all next time. A quick thank you to the YouTube members and Patreons. I'll be streaming some The Forest later on today, so join me for that if you guys want to, and bye bye.